So, hey guys, it's Hazza here, and welcome to an episode of Smart-Arse Gamer. Now, this episode of Smart-Arse Gamer, I think it's episode number 5, is going to be kind of a response to feminist frequency, women versus tropes, I think it's something like that, or tropes versus women in video games. That's the title of the video series anyway. And this, there's been 3 episodes, I believe, so far, and they've all been on damsels in distress, basically, in video games. And I've disagreed with all of them. And if you want to find a really good response to those videos, then just look up response to feminist frequency, damsel in distress. There's some really good videos by Thunderfoot. And there's also this really cool feminist who really highlights some of the more kind of subtle things that Anita does in order to she highlights the more subtle things that Anita does in order to kind of help structure her argument. So she uses like false and vague words in order to say, oh well, that's just one of the exceptions, like rather than count it as a valid argument against what she's trying to say is portrayed in video games. But I disagreed with most of them. I felt like they were very biased. But the video that Anita put out today on feminist frequency was finally a new topic. I've been waiting for a new topic for a while now, and it was called Miss Male Character and Smurfette Syndrome, and it was a really interesting video. And I felt like it opened my eyes a lot to kind of things that are done in video games that aren't really... They just kind of don't... Like, they didn't represent themselves to me originally, but when she pointed them out to it, I started to understand, yeah, this kind of is an issue. And so the way she described it was that, well, first, she blends the two together, and it's not really clear what is what. But the way she goes on to describe it is the fact that in a lot of video games we get Miss Male characters. So a Miss Male character is a character that is created based off an already existing male character. And the only significance of that female character is the fact that she is in some way related to the male character. Like, she doesn't have any significance by herself, it's just the fact that she's related to the male character. And this goes so far as to say... that like, the male version is the default, and the female version is kind of like the type, it's the extra, it's the alternate. It's not the equally valid option, it's the change. The female is the change, rather it's one of the two, like, mains. And it was really quite interesting the way she represented it. And then she went on to also say that a lot of the times these female characters, they are represented by gender signature identifiers. And I found this like kind of a really interesting topic, because when I was thinking about it, I was like, well, hang on, there's nothing wrong with being able to identify a gender by certain signatures. Like, that's necessary. Like, so you're gonna have to be able to, oh, this character's wearing a skirt, so I know it's a girl, you know, that kind of thing. But then she went on to give examples of places where it had been done overtly, like there was no real reason for it. And so what she eventually, the point she was trying to convey is that a lot of the times these female characters, their entire personality is about being a girl. There are plenty of examples where, I'm going to link the video in the description, by the way, but there are plenty of examples where there'll be a group of characters, and each of these characters will have their own personality. It'll be displayed in kind of like the way they're presented. Like, they'll be maniacal and crazy, or they'll be clever and intelligent and conniving, or they'll be brawly and muscly and strong. And oftentimes, if there's a girl character, oftentimes it's only one character as the girl character, and based off her gender signature identifiers, her entire personality is around being a girl. Like, that is how she's represented. Like, just to make sure that you are aware this character is female. What Anita is saying, which is really important, is that she's not saying that it's wrong that she's not saying that it's wrong that female characters are allowed to look like females. She's saying that being a female character shouldn't be all of a character's personality. It's discrediting to both character and the female gender. You know, like gender is just a gender. The problem is that because female is seen as the alternate, the binary. So if you consider it as a binary switch, so male and female, oftentimes the male is the default, so it's unfeatured. So the male can look however it wants, and it has room to have all these different personalities. Whereas the female, in order to differentiate it, you have to add stuff on, and adding that stuff on leaves no room to add the actual personality on top. It's a very interesting situation, because at the same time, when you create games for young children, you have to obviously make sure that it's clear to the child or the young person. Let's call them young people and respect them. But it has to be clear to the child what the gender is, you know. The gender might be important, it might not be important, but I think gender is an important aspect of a character nonetheless. It should at least be clear to what the gender of the character is. Of course, you can get genderless characters, but is that important other than the name? Like, I don't know the answers. I'm just rambling on what the thoughts that come up from watching this video, which I honestly found quite interesting. But yeah, I really agreed with her. Like, and it was surprising me because it was the first feminist frequency tropes versus women in video games I actually agreed with, and I thought this is an actual issue, that there aren't enough female characters with unique personality traits that are represented by the way they are presented in video games. Too often females are presented as just merely being female. They're not presented as being intelligent or mad or maniacal or strong or anything. They're just presented as being female by their appearance, that is. And it's really, really interesting. And then also, something that she did talk about, which I didn't agree with, was that another way that this can be seen as bad is through marketing. And she uses Mass Effect as an example. And she says that the Mass Effect series, from start to finish, has had the option of being a male and a female character. And to the game's credit, the two gender choices are exactly the same, apart from romance options, which is to be expected because certain characters are going to be lesbian, some characters are going to be bisexual, and some characters are going to be straight, or gay. You know what I mean? But yeah, like there's going to be that kind of thing. Like, you're not going to be able to get with everyone depending on your genders. You're going to limit yourself, as is expected in this game. But she goes on to pull marketing from the Mass Effect campaign, the series, and lots of marketing. And she goes on to say that while it's great that this female version of Shepard is in the game, it's not represented in marketing. Anyone who looks at the marketing for Mass Effect says, "Oh, Shepard is a man." And the way I would say it is that it's not to the game's credit, but Shepard from the beginning has always been represented as a man. It was only in Mass Effect 3 that female Shepard was even given a default look. As to say, this is what female Shepard looks like in our eyes. The actual look of female Shepard, interestingly, was voted on by the fans. The fans of the Facebook page, Mass Effect Facebook page, got to say, "Oh, this is what we want female Shepard to look at." She also criticises the fact that FemShep, that FemShep exists, the term FemShep, and even though it's meant affectionately, it still kind of has this negative effect. The way I see it is that she argues that it's because femshep isn't seen as the norm. Like, she has the justification. She's called femshep, while male shepherd just gets to be called shepherd. And again, it's because originally shepherd has always been defaultly male. Like, there was always the default shepherd was male. Like, there wasn't even a female option. It was just this is what the default shepherd is. And to be honest, I think that's to the game's credit. It doesn't matter what gender the person is. It doesn't matter what gender. It doesn't matter what gender shepherd is. Like, if you want your shepherd to be a female, then he still, or she rather in this case, is still equally as like valid, equally as strong, equally as intelligent. It's not there shouldn't be male and female versions of shepherd. It's just, this is our default shepherd. Your default shepherd might be female. It doesn't mean there should be a default male and female shepherd. This is a really hard concept to get across, but I hope you understand what I'm talking about. It's like, if gender truly didn't matter, then there'd just be one default character. There wouldn't have to be two. And then the last thing she criticizes is that, again, it wasn't the last thing, but again, going back to something she said about the marketing and how female shepherd is rarely like showing the marketing. Obviously, this would only happen in the marketing for Mass Effect 3, because before then there was never a default female shepherd. But I would also argue that, like I said before, there was only ever a default male shepherd, and they added the female shepherd as a courtesy. And so what they've ended up doing is they've had this marketing throughout the entire series with the male shepherd. And the fact that if they were to start adding a female shepherd in now for the final advertisements, it would cause market confusion within the consumer base. So they would have, like, it would confuse if they were to have both characters. Like, someone might think that, oh, there's a guy and a girl wearing N7 armor in this game, and then get confused when they buy the game. It's like, oh, so this isn't like a team-based game or anything like that. And it's like, no, you either choose one or the other. And so it could create some confusion. I think it would be very hard to kind of get across in an advert which is mainly designed to sell the game and show all the new features, rather than just, hey, look, there's two, you can choose male or female in this game. Like, it would be really hard to get that through in an advert that's mainly designed to show off the new features and to sell the console. Sell the game. Like, frankly, there's more to be doing in an advert designed to release and sell a game than, hey, look, we've got two different genders for our main character. You know, there's a lot of other stuff. Like, it's not really a big deal when in the short and tall of it.
On my way.
So yeah, that's what I've got to say on that. But other than that, it was a really good episode. I really kind of enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm gonna link in the description. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a really short one, I know, compared to my usual videos. But yeah, I'm probably gonna do another video soon. At the moment, I've finished my entire Batman Arkham City playthrough, and I'm just rendering everything up now. Although that's gonna take a long time. It's gonna be quite boring. So I'm trying to get it done. I'm lacking motivation to get it done, so it'll get done in time. But I'm probably gonna make another update video explaining what I plan on doing. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.